Hello Kymanauts! I want to show you how to rearrange sounds in a sound flow. Here I have a simple sound flow here. A sample going into a filter, into a reverb, and into a chopper, which sounds like this. There's the duration of the chop there at the end. We've got a filter at the beginning. And the reverb gets a bit lost there in the middle. Before the chopper. It's hard to hear the effect of the reverb there. So imagine that we want to change the order of these sounds. So here, let me show you what I mean. Let's say we want to take the chopper and we want to put it before the reverb like that. How would we do that? Okay, well there's a few things to explain about Kyma. So the first thing is that these links here between the sounds, you can't click on them. Really, you can't delete them, cut them, drag and drop them, do anything directly with the links like that. They are constructed for you, and the way that they're made, the way you manipulate these links, is with these input fields. So you see that the chopper has an input field, and in there is a link to the reverb sound. And the reverb sound has an input field with a link to the filter and so on, and the filter has one to the sample. So the way that we change these links is by changing what is in these input fields. The next thing to know about Kyma is that Kyma will prevent you from creating an incorrect tree. Now an incorrect or malformed tree would be one where, for instance, we had a sound that had no link to the speaker icon. So all sounds must ultimately link to the speaker icon. You can't have something orphaned up here with no link there. Also, all branches of a tree have to start with a starting sound, and a starting sound is, say, one with a straight left-hand edge, like this sample. We can't start with a filter. The filter has an input. It requires an input, so we can't just start a branch with a filter. We have to start with something like a sample, which is starting sound, and I can demonstrate that to you. If I press backspace while I'm on the sample to try and delete it, sample cannot be deleted, so we can't get rid of it off the end. We could drag and drop another starting sound over the top of it, something with a straight left-hand edge, but we can't get rid of it. Okay, so how are we going to rearrange these sounds? Well, let me show you the way that doesn't work and why it doesn't work. We could start by thinking, okay, I want to link from the filter to the chopper, so I'm going to start by doing that. Now, the way we create links is we copy and paste. Copy and paste in Kyma, in the sound flow diagrams, doesn't create a copy of the sound, it creates a link to it. So let's copy the filter. We will use Command or Control C, depending on what kind of computer you're on, and I'll paste it into the chopper, replacing the reverb. And when I press accept, and you have to press accept for it to update the diagram, oops, the reverb's disappeared. Now the reason why it's disappeared is right now the reverb has no link to the speaker icon. There is nothing that holds a reference or a link to that reverb sound, and so Kyma has deleted it out of the sound flow. That's not what we want. So I'm going to undo that, bring the reverb back. So how can we rearrange these without losing a link to something? This is where the mixer comes in handy. So we're going to get a mixer and put it right at the end of our sound here. A mixer is going to be useful for us because it has an inputs field, not an input field, but an inputs field with an S on the end. It can hold as many links to sounds as we want. So we can start linking our sounds into the mixer, and that's going to make sure nothing gets lost as we start rearranging things. So I'm going to start by making a link from the reverb, which is the one that we want at the end, into the mixer. Press accept. If I drag the reverb out of the line, you can see now that there are two links going to the mixer. Now I can start rearranging things. The filter we want to go into the chopper, so I'm going to copy that, paste it into the chopper. There we go, press accept, and you can see that's got a link there. The chopper we want to go into the reverb, so copy, paste, there we go. We're starting to get things in the order that we want. Now we don't need a link from the chopper to the mixer anymore, so we can just press on that and press the backspace key to delete that. That's gone. And in fact, we don't need the mixer at all. We can delete the mixer. I click on the mixer, press the backspace key, and Kyma will ask us, do we want to replace the mixer with the reverb? Yes, we do. And here we go. Now if I click on cleanup, gets in a nice neat sort of order there. You can see now we have things in the order that we want. You can listen to that. The reverb's now at the end. A bit more obvious there. And we can stop there. In fact, we probably should stop there. But there is an interesting alternative, and I'm not entirely sure why this works. It's a bit weird, but there is a way of doing this without a mixer. And this is to create a retrograde link, or to attempt to. So in Kyma, you can't have a link from a reverb kind of looping back in the signal flow like that. But let's try and create one. So if I copy the reverb and paste it into the chopper. Now here I'm imagining, let's say we're trying to return to the state that we had before, where we had the reverb behind the chopper. Let's paste that in there. So we're attempting to kind of make a retrograde link here from the reverb behind the chopper. You can't do that. What Kyma does instead is it starts to create these copies. So I can now delete the reverb out there and delete the chopper out there. And we've rearranged things that way. Now it's kind of a bit weird. I think I would get confused with that. I can't imagine really using that method. I think I would always use the mixer. If I was feeling a bit unsure about what to do, I could just create links from all my sounds into the mixer, rearrange them with impunity, knowing nothing's going to get lost, link everything back up and delete everything out of the mixer and delete the mixer at the end. But it's interesting. There you go. That's how you rearrange sounds in Kyma.